I'm Elizabeth Press, and I am founder of D3M Labs, the data-driven decision-making blog. And today I am here with Hannah Suarez, and we are talking about business value and the ultimate monetary value that comes from cybersecurity and information security.
Thanks, Elizabeth, for the introduction and also the invitation. My name is Hannah Suarez. I am CISO within a few startups in the aviation, marketing, software industries, and I also focus within supply chain risk and cloud security within the telecommunications industry. When it comes to value, the way I define it is not just monetary value for a business, but also business values such as innovation, growth, respect, accountability, putting your customers and your clients first. And with it, you have cybersecurity that is able to work towards growing these types of business values. For example, putting your customers and clients first, ensuring that your security policies are securing your customer data. Also, transparency, having a transparent process within your ISMS, within your information security management system.
How did you get into cybersecurity and information security in the first place?
In 2014, I was working as a marketer within the medical and charity industry in London. And I was really inspired by the doctors there, and they really wanted to do more. And the way I see it is through digital transformation. Now, around about the same time, at around about the same year, there was this report of a hospital that there were poor patient outcomes from it. And I started to think, okay, so how can this hospital transform so that it can improve the patient experience? From that, I had this idea to do this medical startup. I started to learn all these cybersecurity concepts like cryptography, networking access and identity management. And while this startup doesn't exist anymore, I realized that actually I really enjoy cybersecurity. I really enjoy working in this field, the wide range and depth of this, and I've stayed on since then.
Thank you. And for our listeners who are trying to understand how they could add business value, how could you differentiate between cybersecurity and information security, and how do those differ from maybe a business and technical point of view?
From the business point of view, information security is about the protection of the CIA, the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of an information. Now, this information, it could be data, it could be software, it could be code, it could also be intellectual property, conversations, images, and so on. So once you have this information, you're able to place it as an asset and within a value of the asset. With cybersecurity, the way I see it is that cybersecurity is a wider range of, it's more focused on protecting, say, networks, hardware, OT devices, and so on. So there may not be an information aspect to it, but it is part of the security domain.
I really like how you started your career within the cybersecurity and information security space with patient outcomes, end user and customer outcomes. But also going beyond that, I personally have been heavily involved in innovation programs, and there's always this question of the supply chain, of the partnerships. And I would like to also highlight that a startup or another sort of partner's ability to prove that they have good cybersecurity hygiene is so critical to being able to onboard into these corporate programs, or also corporations being able to offer something really innovative in a quick manner to their end customers.
Yes, startups, they are execution focused. And the thing with security is that it may be seen as a cost center, some homework that someone has to do. Now, I can give you a story that for one of the projects that I'm involved in called Loyalty Status Co, they have used their ISMS their ISO certificate to be able to ship a new campaign forwards. When the CEO, he sat with the CEO of Frontier Airlines, and while it took just 1 week for the product to be shipped out, in between were multiple assessments around the security of the supplier, around data protection, around database security. And at the end of the day, we are all working with our customers. They have to protect their customer data, their confidential proprietary data. And there has to be this assurance from this new supplier that they are able to work securely with their customers' data, with their proprietary data. And so you can execute very quickly with cybersecurity as core. And that can definitely work with startups as well.
I have been involved in commercial due diligence and M&A transactions for much of my career. I think that people need to be much more aware of the fact that cybersecurity is so core in ensuring that these revenue streams and these cash flow streams are actually going to materialize, and that there's something healthy in the way the startup is scaling. Also, I will say, as a data leader as well, that the ability to create a digital business that is cyber secure, that is going to produce that high quality insights, and also sometimes the algorithmic products at the quality that the startup promises, is so key as well. So maybe you could talk about how cybersecurity is so core to the strategic execution.
Yes, so according to Gartner, there's about 56% of digital transformation projects were able to increase revenue. And when we talk about having this investor confidence in the company, the way to go about that is to have a CISO that is board aligned, that is reporting to the CEO. And when that happens, there are a few different advantages to it related to revenue growth. One of them is that there are fewer data breaches. Now, in the US, the global average of a data breach is $4.45 million. And in addition to that, when you have a cybersecurity program that is core aligned with the business, one of the advantages here is that the employees in the business, they know what their security responsibilities are. So there is a greater security awareness within the business as well. And when you have a greater security awareness, you have this first layer of defense, employees, your resources, your human resources. And so when you have cybersecurity that is within the core of a business, it is completely possible to take advantage of all of these advantages. Also, the fact that we have the SEC as well, that now has this requirement to disclose material breaches. And it is now amongst the external pressures of cybersecurity leadership, regulatory, legal compliance, customers, clients, users, and so on.
What is the importance of digital sovereignty in a world where you have, first of all, a geopolitical situation that is creating a lot more threats in the cyberspace, as well as a world where a lot of the key technologies are cloud-based and our partners are not always from the same nation where we're conducting business. And this is extremely critical to Germany.
Yes, when it comes to data sovereignty, it is not just the location of the data center. Is it based in Germany? It's also who owns the company. And the three examples that I can show you is AWS, Google Cloud Platform, and also Microsoft Azure. Now, many German companies, they are now moving to the cloud as part of their major digital transformation projects. we're not just talking about, startups, but also industries like the telecommunications industry, aviation, and so on. When it comes to these cloud providers, they are all moving their data into these cloud platforms. And the thing here is that it's not just personal data. So it's not just, first names, age, date of birth, and so on. It's, highly personal data. It's genetic data, it's biometric data, also in telecommunications, MSSDNs, and so on. One of the items when assessing, how sovereign is our data with this cloud platform is around cryptography. So who owns the keys? Are we able to fully manage our own keys with this platform? Another one is the crypto system. So is this platform able to change the crypto system, the way that they manage the keys, their cryptography policies? Will they change it just whenever they want? And so the way I see it is that in some cases, it's too big to fail. If you don't like one platform, you can move somewhere else. We're not going to consider any specific security requirements. And that is a challenge in maintaining data sovereignty. And that will be the case in the future as well.
And what are some habits that you've developed over your career that have had successful outcomes?
So there was this LinkedIn post by Helen Patton, and in it she had some ideas on what advice that you can give to someone who is changing careers. And this advice I can also apply 10 years into this industry. And that is to work on your strengths. So you'll have these experiences that you've built up, your work experience, educational experience. You also have your personality type, and with it, your own strengths. So that is the advice that I can give. And also what I do is to just play off my strengths, work on it. One of my strengths is to do a lot of future planning. So if, which can be bad if you're trying to travel spontaneously, but when you're thinking about, okay, so what is the future problem, say in the next 6 months, 6 years? Is it the fact that in 2025, maybe 90% of new enterprise applications will have AI in the processes? So myself as a cybersecurity practitioner, how can I prepare for the future? So that's what I do in my day-to-day.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Hannah, for being on the show today.